topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end.
Oh, we back at it again. Jay, Jeremy, Miriam, Ryan, friends until the end. What's new this week? That is our mission. Spoiler leaks, not our ambition. Call us geeks, come on now listen. Black and nerdy's our position.
Blerd boys, y'all know what to expect. Enter the podcast, we come in correct. Survivalist world, we coming for the throne. Blerd boys, survivalist zone.
BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. Hey, 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 hey. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
Welcome back. What it do? It's been a month-long break. Last episode was March 15th.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome back to the Blerd Survival Guide. I'm your co-host, Jay.
I'm your co-host, Jeremy. We're back.
And better than ever. Refreshed.
Something.
Renewed.
Words.
Rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Blerdified.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah, welcome back, guys. It's been a hot minute. And yeah, I gotta get used to this podcasting thing again. I took a step back and felt like I forgot how to ride a bike.
Well, it's not like you hadn't been busy. It's not like we
all have.
Busy.
We've been.
You've been working on a book.
Yep.
You've been having a birthday.
Our
producer got a new job.
Yes, she did.
Said, I'm out of here. I got other things to do.
She didn't say that specifically, but
no, she didn't say that specifically.
Happy for you, Miriam. Congratulations on your new job.
Exactly. She is the y'all congratulate Miriam. She is the new director of education for the Birmingham Children's Theater.
Look at her.
My baby is doing her thing.
Look at it.
I'm excited for
Look at it. Congrats.
I've been busy at work.
Say, what you been doing?
Lord, it's been Ramadan. So spent the last month fasting. I have been busy on an advocacy campaign, planning some fun events to increase housing and housing opportunities, trying to make rents cheaper because y'all know them things are astronomical.
Bad. So bad.
Yeah, I mean, been watching a lot of television, been keeping up with One Piece. Let's see. I don't think I've watched any new animes other than Solo Leveling. My shows are back on. Finally, they put the 2 first episodes of The Good Doctor on Hulu, and then for 3 weeks straight didn't put any new things on there. I don't even know what it was.
I think it was the not even the tournament, not the NCAA tournament. It was. It's just been weird because like Abbott Elementary has been like off for like 3 weeks at a time, and because I think only the first 2 episodes of that is like, or the first 3 or 4 episodes came on. Mm-hmm. Then it had like, all right, it was like off for one Sunday, and then it was like, all right, well, no, we're gonna show a new episode on Sunday, be off that Wednesday, off the next Wednesday, show up on Thursday again, and then it was like, all right, we're gonna be off for like 3 Wednesdays. And,
television has been wild. I'm not even sure where to start.
I blame the strikes.
Episode. So. We're just gonna figure this out as we go along.
Yeah. But it's been a wild and crazy time. We've been like Jay said, we've been working and
I hope y'all been good this month.
I hope
y'all been surviving out here.
Truly.
I mean, I know that we haven't been able to provide content, but if you've been listening to the podcast for this long, maybe you'll stick with us a little bit longer.
Thank you. And we thank you for being listeners and survivalists and survivors and surviving with us.
We've been working on, we got a few things left to do. I think we've got a couple conventions coming up.
Yes.
That we're going to be attending.
We're trying to be attending. We'll be guests. I still got to get back with Skip and Blerd over. We'll be guests at one of the first all black conventions in Birmingham.
Okay.
We'll be there. We'll be trying our best to get to like the Iron City Comic Con, Alabama Comic Con.
I think the Huntsville Comic-Con is coming up.
Oh, that's this weekend.
That's this week. That's this weekend.
Yeah.
So if y'all are out there, y'all make sure to check out your boy Ladarius's.
Yeah, he'll be up there.
Convention. He's been really integral in planning that.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah. We can get to the topic at hand.
We can go on. No, I'm kidding. Let's go straight to the end.
So, fun story.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go to the Birmingham Children's Theater this past weekend with Miriam at her new job and see the Junie B. Jones musical.
How was it? I've seen posts for it.
It was a lot of fun. The woman who played Junie B. Jones killed it. Them adults on stage were whole children. It was wild. Like they had
life goals.
They had some great actors that were playing Junie B, her best friend, her love interest. The songs were fun. They were just it was a great time. It really, really was. And if y'all are checking out, I think they're doing it like 2 more weeks, which for anybody that remembers, Junie B. Jones was black AF. I don't know if y'all know.
I mean,
but the black kids in my school loved them.
They reading Junie B. Jones.
Stayed
reading the Birmingham City School systems. That's all the books I saw.
We were Junie B. Jones stands.
Apparently, yeah. It is black AF. I
don't know. I know the character on the front of the book wasn't black, but she resonated with the black people in my neighborhood.
Your formative years, your coming of age years.
Exactly. So we go to this, and so I get to go a little backstage because again, it's Miriam's job.
Because he got the hookup.
Right.
He gets to walk anywhere and everywhere now.
As long as I'm with Miriam, you know.
But with stipulations.
So they are preparing for everybody to come in for the show and everything, and I get to talking with one of Miriam's colleagues' wives, and she's been getting into anime. Right. Okay, so it's exciting. And I'm like, oh, what are you watching? She starts talking about Record of Ragnarok. I'm like, all right, you know what? That's a pretty decent anime. It's a wonderful tournament arc. Yeah. And so she comes off as soon as she gets done talking about it saying, I don't like cartoons.
But you're watching anime.
So my immediate, my immediate instinct is to engage with her. I'm like, what is your beef with these cartoons?
Right.
You know what she says to me?
Who hurt you as a child?
Yeah, right. She says that the laws that govern cartoons should be the same as the ones that govern the real world. Like physics, just general laws that govern these. Like, so for instance, when you watch Looney Tunes, right? You got the Roadrunner and you got Wile E. Coyote, right? Yep. He is chasing after the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner makes a hard left turn at this cliff. The Wile E. Coyote goes off the cliff. It's running in place, hasn't fallen.
Right.
What happens when he looks down?
He recognizes that he's off the cliff. He pulls out one of his many signs in his back pocket that either says help or screw loose or some jackass or something. And then he plummets to his
immediately falls to the earth.
Yes.
Right.
It's not to his demise because never dies.
The laws governing that situation are if you are off the cliff and you are not aware that you have run off the cliff, you're not falling. Right. And so
in cartoon world, yes.
And once you realize you're falling, you fall.
Oh yeah.
She don't like that. She felt like that was not okay. And so I'm sitting here like, well, interesting point. It's the Looney Tunes, first of all. So like the laws are loony, right? Like they're crazy.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. And then I go on to just ask her about a few other things. And my first thing to ask her afterward, I was like, as we were discussing at least, is how do you feel about crossovers where, like Space Jam and Looney Tunes Back in Action and
when the cartoons are in live action.
When cartoons come into the live action.
Yeah.
She says, I despise those even more.
But you just contradicted yourself because now these cartoons are in the real world and or vice versa, whereas Michael Jordan and LeBron James went into the toon world.
Uh-huh.
And
yep.
they're Because
they're then beholden to the laws that govern that universe, right?
Because in Looney Tunes Back in Action, even though it was still a bunch of cartoons doing cartoon stuff, they still had they weren't able to just, unless it was, I mean, Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote are a special case because they do the certain things where you are drawn, like he paints the tunnel
and you run through Roadrunner's able to run through the tunnel,
but he's not able to. So, but there's that.
This is exactly
but there's also, like I said, there's Daffy Duck, and I'm thinking back to Looney Tunes Back in Action, where Daffy Duck is like, he sort of breaks the laws of physics, but not when he no, it's the scene in Looney Tunes Back in Action when they're falling in the real spy car. They're falling from Earth, from in the air, because it's like, and they like they're falling, screaming. Everyone's screaming, and they stop right before they hit the ground.
Right before,
and literally Bugs Bunny looks at it. It's like, oh, out of gas. And you hear the exec go, wait, that's not possible, and then they crash.
And then it crashes.
So there is a law of physics in Toon World and Real World.
There are laws that govern both.
Yes.
And it's interesting when they cross over because you're wondering what the line
happened.
What's the line, right? And so this kind of got me wondering. I'm just like, should the laws that govern one cartoon govern every cartoon? Right? Like, you got the Looney Tune laws. You've got the fourth wall laws and like Ed, Ed, and Eddie and
that whole episode.
That whole episode, right? You've got anime laws, which are typically plot developments, right? Dealing with the protagonist,
whatever
and
needs to happen.
And the stakes that are at hand. Like, can the protagonist die? Like, is that an option?
Right. And I mean, like within certain animes, you got like the shonen anime where it's like you have Naruto and you have chi. That's where the base of their power comes from, is their chi.
Yeah.
One Piece, where devil fruits are their source of their powers. And hockey. And
so so it kind of just got me like thinking about it. Just like, are there laws that definitely should govern every single cartoon? Are there laws that should be hingent upon the characters within the cartoons? What are they? I think it's interesting. And so my question to our survivalists is, what do you think? Do you think that would you enjoy cartoons more if there were laws that governed all of them universally? Or would you are you more likely to watch them now because of the way that they are? Or are you less likely to watch them if they would change? Like, I'm wondering like how we can talk about this in the podcast. And I'm wondering what others might be thinking about it as well.
Well, you have different cartoons that are different in terms of the laws of cartoons, the laws of physics in cartoons.
Okay.
Like you said, you have your Looney Tunes, you have your One Piece, you have your Naruto, you have your Gumball, like the Adventures
Oh man!
Gumball.
Oh man!
Those laws have literally
out the door.
5, 6, 7 different mediums of animation in one cartoon.
Yeah.
But then you also have your adult cartoons like BoJack Horseman, you have Family Guy, American Dad, which do rely on real world physics. Sometimes. But like, I would say
like Kenny, for example, in South Park
should not be able to come back to life, even though he's died
countless
12, 14,
times.
17, 20 times.
Yeah.
Exactly. Homer, they explained, it was like one weird episode. I don't know how I caught it. It was either on TikTok or like an old video on YouTube that I just randomly caught. There was an episode of The Simpsons where they did like a behind the scenes of The Simpsons. And
interesting.
And Homer Simpson, the only reason he's able to endure all this pain is because they created a medicine for him. It was like some kind of pill that he was able to take that he's not able to get hurt anymore.
Well, that makes me think about Family Guy, because technically, if you look in the background of Family Guy, it's a play. It's run on a stage.
Oh no, it's actually they sometimes treat it as an actual like TV show when they do like the behind the scenes of Family Guy. And it's like it's set on like a TV set back.
Yeah,
you go to because Cartoon Network is like you go to Turner Broadcasting, like their studio lot, and you'll see the Family Guy poster out on like a soundstage thing. It's like, no, this is an animation. This is how things are done. But you got, so like I said, you have those, but you also have, and this is literally just most recently happening, you have Gear 5 with Luffy, who literally does tear he fucks with the limits of cartoons and Earth and like the natural Earth in their world of One Piece when he turns into Gear 5, because he's essentially a cartoon now inside of the real world.
He is the god. He is
the sun god. Nika is essentially a cartoon because he's Joy Boy.
Yep.
So he's able to manipulate Earth. He's able to manipulate anything around him to
the space, reality, all of it.
So it's just hard to think of like why someone would have such an issue with Toon. It really is just.
So I'm
to answer the question would probably be it's more contingent upon you to have to ask the creators of said thing. So you'd have to ask Seth MacFarlane, why does Stewie get to talk only to Brian? Why is Brian only a talking dog?
That part.
You have to ask Matthew Groening why Homer never dies. Why is the Simpsons world? Why are the people yellow? Like
yeah.
There are no yellow people on Earth unless you have jaundice or something like that.
Facts.
Why you got to ask Toriyama and Dragon Ball? Why are they able to do Kamehamehas? Why are they able to literally just float?
Why can some humans fly and some can't? Because they're tapped into that
to
that key thing.
Like what kind of deformity like is acceptable in Dragon Ball to where Goku has a whole monkey's tail and then he doesn't?
Well, he's an alien. That's different.
Why is he an alien on Earth who looks like a human? Why is Superman looking just like a normal human being if he's an alien from another planet?
Good question. Well, here's my thing. Here's where I'm coming from a lot of the time with this debate, right? Like, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, well, if you're going to have cartoons that have different laws, it largely has to do, I think, like you said, with the creator,
right?
And it also has to do with the source content. So you've got comic strips that have been turned into cartoons, like Garfield, the Peanuts,
all that stay within basically the real world with you, like
that all stay within
like real world physics. Because
real
even
world
like
physics, right?
I mean, with like Garfield, cats aren't. I don't know the dietary needs of cats.
I mean, he talks, but he talks.
Well, no,
and the owner recognizes that he talks.
In the comics, he is speaking through a thought bubble.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's different.
So he's an actual cat having just cat thoughts.
True.
The only time he like actually talks is when he's talking to Odie.
Yeah.
Who is literally just standing there.
Who's just a dog. Who's just a dog.
Who is just a stupid dog.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's interesting, man. It really, really is. Because like you look at anime, which she seemed to enjoy. And I'm thinking largely it's because it started out in written form, right? Like no cartoon that most anime start out as a manga or another version of that, right? Like you go from that and they have to, because of the limits of a manga and what you can do with drawing that's in the storytelling, you're able to, it's harder to blur those lines. Maybe.
Right.
Whereas, except now with One Piece and Luffy being the character that he is, you're seeing this whole transformation of a universe occur because of him. Yeah. And he's able to just bounce around, turn everything to rubber, basically will the universe in this loony fashion, for lack of a better term.
I mean, that's even going back to like Tom and Jerry. That's where Luffy Gear 5 and him just being a cartoon in general. That's where Oda Sensei got his inspiration from, was just the old Tom and Jerry cartoons, which were set in real world physics. You had Tom and Jerry, two silent characters. Literally, the only time you hear anybody speak that wasn't human or Spike the dog, when Tom and Jerry is just the two of them, is when Tom would scream.
What's also interesting about those is that adults don't have faces.
Right. And that's because, I mean, at that time too, a lot of the cartoons, if it was like aimed towards children, they didn't want people to like think or get they didn't want people to think that parents were going to always be there.
Yeah, I get you.
But with Tom and Jerry, they were able to, like I said, with Oda Sensei being like having the wherewithal and one of the inspiration from Tom and Jerry, you see from Tom and Jerry, they still broke the laws of physics every time Tom would get hurt. You see Jerry pulling random objects from like random full size human objects,
mallets,
mallets, hammers, plywood with a nail at the end type stuff. Yeah, you see all that coming out from behind Jerry and just I don't know do that. You had his cousin who was like a mobster.
Oh yeah,
come in and have like Gear 3 Luffy blow his fist up into like the size of Tom's head, punch him aside. But this is still within the real world where you have humans and construction workers and just normal everyday things because they are still in just a regular at the time just a regular house.
Right.
Yeah. From like 1930s, 40s, 50s. So I mean, she making me. I don't even know who this lady is, but she making me mad.
Well, it's definitely worth considering. Like at the end of the day, like you have to think about like what I think we have to think about what exactly is influencing these physics and the laws that govern these cartoons, right? Like, and I think that it's fun to do it largely because I think that you realize as you become an adult that these cartoons are all going to operate differently. But when you're a kid, you kind of are confused by it, right? Like you're watching these cartoons and you're just like, I don't know what is allowed per cartoon, and I'm just going to enjoy it, but you don't think about it critically.
But I get that. I think some kids would think that. Other kids like myself, I would think, wow, this is crazy. Well, not necessarily wanted to try it, and I mean that's why they say kids don't try this at home. But like SpongeBob, the bubble blowing episode when he had to teach Squidward how to blow a bubble.
Okay,
it's like bring it around town, and like doing stuff like that. I mean,
well, he's a sponge,
but nobody, as I'm saying, nobody's legs should stretch like that. Nobody like.
Well, he's not a human.
He's not a human, but it's a humanoid sponge. He's not a kid. There aren't kitchen sponges in the sea on purpose.
True.
You got that. You got Mr. Crab. I mean, Mr. Krabs is you don't have full on businesses happening underwater either that we know of.
Obviously.
You don't have just a crab shack that sells hamburgers made of God knows what because it's undersea.
Y'all know what them hamburgers are made out of, right?
Crabs.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Why he's the only crab in Bikini Bottom.
You feel me?
And it is the secret recipe. It would ruin his business.
He's a kid. Well, you never see him eat a Krabby Patty. I don't want to get into that right now.
Anyway, I mean, the laws that govern SpongeBob are definitely wonky as well, right? Like the bubble blowing
SpongeBob was able to shape shift. Every time he would like talk that whole Texas episode, and he was like, "Patrick, what am I? Stupid." No, I'm Texas. What's the difference?
Look out for Sandy.
Oh man, who has a talking squirrel underwater?
Again. So like it's interesting to me that this woman this person was very upset by cartoons, just generally speaking, but was willing to watch an
upset
anime,
over cartoons.
Just like was willing to watch an anime and just be accepting of the laws that govern that. Like Looney Tunes are just that. They're loony, right? Like at the end of the day, the laws that govern Looney Tunes are not going to be universal. It's because you have antagonists, you have protagonists. How about she said that Wile E. Coyote wasn't the villain?
His main goal in the entire time is to eat the Roadrunner.
I think that just kind of goes to show how much we can actually take her perspective into play, honestly. Like, no offense, but at the same time, at the point where you are saying that Roadrunner isn't the antagonist, or you're saying that he isn't the villain in the Roadrunner, which is the name of the cartoon series. Mm-hmm. It was named after your hero, which was Roadrunner. You have to. It's just. I wanted to argue with her and like just be, because I was just genuinely interested, but it's nice to know that we're on the same page on at the Blerd Survival Guide, and so I'm very curious to know what other people might think. Honestly, it's worth at least considering.
She made me mad. I'm be stewing on that one for a while.
I want to know what everybody else thinks. I really do.
Man, I do too. And with that, we can keep going on. We can go on and on.
Yes, we can.
Hey, but what we're going to do now is take a quick little break, and we'll be right back with the weekly blurb.
Be right back, guys.
Woo.
It's time for the Weekly Blerd.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Hey, it's time for the Weekly Blerd where we talk about stuff
and things.
And all the things.
And the newest thing that we have slated for our Weekly Blurb, and if you have been living under a rock,
get out from it.
Get out from it, because this is a major development. There has been, for the last, I think, 2 weeks now, a new documentary that has been released on HBO Max, aka Max, because it's not with HBO anymore. I don't even know what to call it.
HBO still exists. It's just called Max.
Well, anyway, the new documentary, Quiet on Set. And so for anybody who is uncomfortable, this will be, I'm going to give a little trigger warning because the content of this documentary is quite heavy.
It is.
It deals with allegations, not just allegations, but proof of sexual abuse and child abuse within television shows that were released in the 1990s, specifically dealing with Nickelodeon's Dan Schneider's content.
Was that over 30 years of his work?
Yeah. I mean, dealing with all that, The Amanda Show, iCarly, Zoe 101. Just you think about, if you were a millennial, your Nickelodeon content for the better half of your childhood, he was probably involved with it. And you all know the types of all the shows that we're talking about.
Right. Anything that had, any TV show essentially that had the live studio audience. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Because Big Time Rush,
Victorious.
No, Victorious was still Dan Schneider. But
right.
Big Time Rush was Scott Fellows.
Okay.
I'm trying to see.
Oh yeah, there is a handful of
Nasty Classified, Big Time Rush. Anything by Scott Fellows, we're good. Nasty Classified, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot right now.
I heard that their podcast got pulled off, or they canceled their podcast. I didn't even know that.
No, I thought they were still good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it on April 1st?
No, it was afterwards.
Okay, because they joked about it, but I mean, it could have been real. Yeah, Scott Fellows, he is the executive producer and creator of Nasty Classified, Big Time Rush. It's probably After Our Time, 100 Things to Do Before High School.
Okay.
Yeah. So those kind of TV shows, those are safe. Oh yeah, he did help work on like Fairly Odd Parents. So yeah,
good to know.
But let me look up Dan Schneider TV shows real quick. I don't want this in my search history, but oh well. Yeah, so we're going to be focusing on shows like iCarly, Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, Sam and Cat, The Amanda Show, Victorious, all that. Yeah.
Kenan and Kel.
Well, no, not even that, because they like Kenan. I saw an interview after the show came out the first time that he was like, it was all that was after his time. Like he actually never got to interact with Dan Schneider.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Kel did because he like worked with him on Game Shakers, but
okay.
Other than that, it was like, yeah, Kenan and Kel was essentially before Dan Schneider like really put his.
Was Kenan and Kel before all that?
His foot into it.
Was Kenan and Kel before all that, or was it the same time?
Same time.
Okay.
Like, all that was 1994 to like 2005.
Okay.
And Kenan and Kel was 96 to 2000.
Okay. A little bit of a shorter run.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like that documentary was heavy. I watched it last week, and wow, I got mad a couple times. I got mad, I got surprised, I got sad. It was just a lot. Spoilers ahead. It is currently on like if you still watch cable television, it's on the channel known as ID. I think is what it's called.
I know that channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's I think it's going to be premiering on there in the next, or by the time this episode come out, I think all 4 or 5 episodes should have come on by now, but still spoilers ahead for those who haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tragic story that really was almost inevitable. based off of how everyone talked about it when they brought on the women writers for the show. Really talked about the type of environment that Dan Schneider, as a producer, bred. I mean, everything from the demeaning comments all the way up to the fact that he even said that female or women writers aren't funny.
They're not funny.
And then he had them give him massages.
They give him massages, but they also had he split their salary, which is illegal.
Oh my God!
Yeah. He made it was the brunette one. They made her tell a certain story while she was bent over a table, basically having all
simulating sex.
Yeah. So I mean, this is literally early on and early on into his creator executive producer career. It was the first time he was able to be over shows and be the head boss of
it. Was interesting how they went into a lot of some of his history. Mm-hmm. How he had a few acting roles, but he was definitely portrayed as the fat kid.
Typecasting him as the fat kid.
And who how apparently that just fed into his complex that led to him wanting to subjugate other people and make them feel worse off because people made him feel bad.
So make people feel bad too.
I mean, it's overall my reaction is it's a tragic story. What happened with Drake Bell a couple years ago involving the texts that were sent to that underage girl.
Oh yeah.
Really it allowed that to fall into place for me. But I also learned recently that Drake Bell didn't even know that girl, when he was messaging her, was underage and she was lying about her age, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show, what role models actually mean to a child as they are growing up, right? And this man, Drake, who was sexually abused by Brian Peck, a.k.a. Pickle Boy from All That, if y'all remember.
That's what pissed me off. If y'all remember. From the Amanda Show.
Excuse me, from the Amanda Show. You just saw this man's life just drastically be altered. And the fact that his father
called it from the get-go.
Called it from the
get-go, man. Oh my God.
Was God. No, we got to protect our children. It just made it all the worse.
Yeah.
To know that and he didn't even find out until recently.
He didn't even say so recently because years. Even when it was going down and Drake called that whole section when Drake called him, it was hey, they got him, he's going to jail. When Brian Peck was being sent to jail, that his dad, Drake Bell's father, was great. I'm so thankful that it wasn't you, and
that hurt me, man.
That shed a tear.
That broke my heart.
Yeah,
it really did. It really did.
Oh my God!
But
he didn't know, and I'm wow.
No, he didn't. And I mean, it's just a really tragic story. And at the end of the day, I think that it just further highlights the need for more protections in Hollywood for child actors. Mm-hmm. People talk about how you got these child actors who are emancipating themselves so that they can work more. But ultimately, that's just a factor of the abuse that they are.
Yeah, it's coming from the agents, from the producers, from the management teams.
The abuses of power.
Hey, you can make more money for your family if you keep doing this. Or
it's
if
messed
you work
up.
It's
messed up.
Ugh. As much as I want to be in that world, I'm glad I didn't full on, and I'm thankful that my mom didn't She
drive you into it,
but she pushed me to pursue what I wanted to pursue. But I'm thankful that I was not pushed to let's go audition. Let's.
You weren't the cash cow for your family.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of these children are, man. A lot of these child actors end up being the primary money makers, breadwinners for their family, and so they feel all this pressure to work more, work harder, do all these projects, and ultimately end up losing their childhood.
Yep,
and it adds up. We see the turnout of a lot of child actors. Brian Feldman being a great example of that. I mean,
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman being a great example of that. I mean, in previous history, what's his name? From the Home Alone movies.
Oh, I was gonna say Kieran. No, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin. He had a hard time readjusting to life. Lindsay Lohan. Amanda Bynes.
I'm about to say the one girl that we need to see in another season. I know she doesn't want to do it, but we need to hear your story, Amanda. You do it at your own time, whenever you're comfortable.
Right.
But I feel with Drake telling his story, Giovanni Selmy telling her story. Like a lot of these actors and actresses that we've seen currently now, and like a lot of these older movies and adult movies, and like they're still acting and they're like have a somewhat sense about them now.
Yeah,
like when they're able to comfortably come and tell these stories and finally tell their truths. Because I mean, if you have this many people saying this against you, Mr. Schneider, there's some truth behind it. There's more truth.
Oh, I mean, his career's done.
Oh yeah, no, like his court of public opinion, he is.
Oh, there's no more.
That settlement he got from Nickelodeon is the last paycheck that he'll probably.
And I'll be surprised if they even include his name on the creator on like any kind of credit with like the iCarly show that's out right now, right? Like I mean, like
they still did. It was still because I mean,
originally from now on, that's what I'm saying. Like,
from future stuff.
It'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed to see that, and I would love to see that credit get removed, honestly, because ultimately it wasn't. While it was his production,
well, it was his creation. That's the only reason he got the created by thing because he created the TV show.
But it really was the actors who created
produced,
who did this show, man. And I mean, you see the guy that plays Spencer.
Shout out Jerry motherfucking Trainer.
That man protected those kids.
All of them kids. From Drake and Josh to iCarly to Sam, man.
Yeah.
Get that man a Purple Heart or something, whatever Nickelodeon's version of that is. A purple blimp.
A purple blimp. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's if y'all hadn't checked it out, I really want to encourage everyone to at least to some degree familiarize yourself with the story, because it is something that I think is worth at least being aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately, if you're dreaming of being a parent and you're interested in your child going into show business, you damn sure need to watch this documentary.
Watch it, and then if you still want to consider getting your child into acting or any kind of
watch it again and make a 10-page write a 10-page paper.
Not even that. Just like I would strongly consider getting some kind of like degree or certification in celebrity management, just so you can be your own child's manager.
Yeah,
be there at all times and not say make sure you are, even though you're the parent on set kind of thing, make sure if you are the manager, it's like, no, I am contractually obligated to be here.
Right.
So that way I'm not, and it's not just him being the breadwinner. You also have a stake in that being the manager.
That's a really good point.
That's just my suggestion. That's just off the dome, man. Like,
we got to protect our kids, man.
Protect the kids.
Got to protect our kids.
Thank y'all for listening. I know that was hard to listen to. If you skipped to the end of the podcast, again, we thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging in there with us. I know we've been off and on for a hot minute, but we're trying to get more on than off.
Indeed.
Get back into a certain rhythm of ours. We're definitely in talks, small announcement, we're in talks with our good buddy Grayson to start up our own D&D campaign, so that's also in the works.
Yep.
I'm still writing the book. We're doing a lot of moving and shaking, quote unquote. Find the keywords in that.
So if you want to, y'all can keep up with us on our social media. You can get with us at Blerd Survival Guide on Instagram and Facebook. You can get with us at Blerd Guide on X and Threads, as well as TikTok.
Yeah.
You can follow us at our personals at Blerd Activist.
At that Disney Blerd. Again, just Google us. And other than that,
keep surviving, everybody.
Listen to the theme song.
Right.
We're back.
Taylor King.
DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. Oh, we back at it again. Jay, Jeremy, Miriam, Ryan, friends until the end. What's new this week? That is our mission. Spoiler leaks, not our ambition. Call us geeks, come on now listen. Black and nerdy's our position.
Blerd boys, y'all know what to expect. Enter the podcast, we come in correct. Survivalist world, we coming for the throne. Blerd boys, survivalist zone.
DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end.
Hey, 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 hey.
Taylor.
It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.